Here it is Thursday afternoon. I haven't had lunch yet. In fact, I didn't even eat breakfast, so I'm going to have lunch and dinner all in one meal today. This is one of those days that I think we should have stayed in bed. So gloomy. I know some places need rain. Jan needs it out on her farm. She says things are looking bad and they need a good hard rain. So here it's just dark and gloomy and little sprinkles on the window. And I thought, first of all, I'll just go on and talk. Sometimes that's what you tell me. You just want me to talk. I'm not sure you'll be real pleased with today's talk, but to brighten it up, I decided to wear something colorful. That might brighten the day a little more. And look at my bracelet. Don't you just love them? Oh, it reminds me of the time I went to, it was a Miss Kentucky contest, and the lady sitting next to me in the audience, she had bracelets from her wrist all the way almost to her elbow. And instead of watching the girls on the stage, I kept looking over at her arm, examining every bracelet she was wearing. So that's kind of what I thought I would do today. I just pull out a few of my bracelets. The trouble with some of them is, they have that catch that you have to pull it back and get it hooked into the little loop, and it takes forever to get it hooked. So those are still lying on the table over there, and I just picked. Now I like these like this. Let me show you. Let's see if I can get one off. I like these because they just run you can get them in batches. You get 6 or 8 little bracelets, and they're all colors. You can see some of them. See the oranges, and here's one on the end. How pretty. There's 2 there. One's gold, one's they're pink, and they're orange, and they're green. They're just so pretty, and you just slide them on your arm. Some of them I managed to get on very carefully. And then you've got the ones that are little stretch bracelets. I've decided that I'm not going to buy any more jewelry anyway, but any that I collect is going to be stretch bracelets, because I have a terrible time getting these things on my arm. So take a good look. This is your colorful display for the day. And this is one of my new blouses I bought. And I just happen to have earrings to match. Who would have guessed that would be the way it was? Not only that, I've got my brooch right here at the neck. I had to pin it on because it shows my bra right there. My cleavage. So I had to hide that a little bit. Still looks right pretty with it, with my brooch. So that takes care of my beauty for the day. I got to thinking, I know I've mentioned my sisters off and on, this and that and the other, but never personally. So since there are only 3 of us girls out of the 7, most of you know we were 7 sisters. And out of the 7, there are 3 of us left. I'm the youngest. Was the youngest of all 7. In fact, we are the 3 youngest of the 7. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about them. I have to figure out the order I'm going in my story. Jeanette is the one that is 96, going on 97 now. You've heard about her. She still drives. Yes, she does. I don't know. I have a feeling the streets are cleared when she comes along. I'd better be careful what I say, because she'd be watching this in a few minutes. And I have to be nice. So, trying to think where to start. I have a video on my list of stories. It's number 195. It was filmed on Thanksgiving Day in 2023. And it shows Jeanette, Wanda, and me, and my granddaughter, Jessica. She was conducting the little talk. And we were telling things from our past, just everyday, no nonsense type thing, just what life was like when we were young. So if you want to watch that one, it's number 195, and it's called Thanksgiving Day. So that's something you can go to when you can't think of anything else to do, or if you're more than bored, you can have a little bit more boredom in your day. Okay, let me get my other. I want to talk about Jeanette first, because I already told you about it. It wasn't a contest, it was a recognition of elderly people over 85 years old. Now, I just told you she's 96. This was 2.5 years ago. She and 3 other senior citizens from Todd County, Kentucky, were nominated for, it's called the 2023 Gold Standard of Optimal Aging Award. Now, I could never remember that, so I had to read it. And I'm going to have to read more of it. All 4 of the nominees were chosen. The impact of Todd County's citizens on the lives of so many is indeed a quality that stands out amongst our citizens. We all know many individuals who devote time and energy to serving others a part of their lives, and this is so true of several Todd Countyans who will all be honored in Louisville, Kentucky. This was September 22nd, 2023. The reason for that recognition results from 4 Todd Countyians. Now I'm going to go to another page. Let's see. I want to go to the page that described my sister. This is the one about her. One who served in, before I tell this though, I want to tell you, my sister was married, she was very young. She married in 1945. She had not graduated from high school. Her husband was in the Army. And so, they were married during the war. I wanted you to know her age at that time. She was 16 years old. Why? I don't know why they married so young, but he was in the Army and he wanted her with him, and she went. She got on a train in Tennessee and she headed for New Jersey. 16-year-old girl during war years, traveling alone. I couldn't do that today, but she did. Now, one who served in the military for 37 years in both the Army and the Reserves was, this is not the paragraph I want. Let's go past this one. One more page. I kind of lost my place, I think. All right, you just hang on there. Got another page to go. Okay, this is it. This is one I wanted to read. A pastor's wife for 40 years prior to retiring in Elkton, Kentucky, Miss Jeanette Sharp, wife of the late W.D. Sharp, has lived in 4 different states and 7 different cities during her years of life. She is known by many as a Sunday school teacher, a mission friend teacher, a choir member, and a Girls in Action, that's called the GAs, leader at Elkton Baptist Church. Since returning to Elkton several years ago with her late husband, her routine includes visiting residents at Hearthstone, serving catered meals at the Todd County Senior Citizen Center as fundraisers, and bagging up goodies to take to area first responders. She also can be found filling bags with treats for Easter egg hunts and Halloween, and she also devotes time and energy sending cards for her Sunday school class. For the past 15 years, she has passed out flyers advertising Todd County's blood bank drives. A mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, Ms. Sharp is described as one who makes Todd County a much better place to live. Now, there was something I was going to say about that. Oh. It was about 9 years after she was married that she had her first child. Her husband had gotten out of the Army. He entered Carson Newman College. When he finished college, he went to Louisville to the Baptist Seminary for education. He was going to be a minister. Their first child was born 9 years later after the marriage. The second child was 5 years after the first baby was born. When the first child graduated from high school, my sister got her degree from college, same month. And I just thought, that's amazing. Mother and son, both getting diplomas, same time. So she went from there and she started teaching school. She did that for a while. And they moved from state to state, city to city. And their last move was to Elkton, Kentucky, where they were in retirement by then. So, this recognition, I'm going from one piece of paper to another. Among the 6 sisters, by this time, my oldest sister had died of cancer. And my mother was in a nursing home. She had personal care every day of the week. We took turns. Those who lived, there were 4 living locally where it made it convenient for them to sit with my mother one day a week. I would go from Tennessee to my hometown, and I would sit with my mother on Saturday and Sunday, and I would go back to my own home Sunday afternoon. So that was our schedule with all of the girls. When my mother died, my sister Wanda and her husband moved into what we call the old home place. The old home place was built by my father in 1924. So we wanted to keep the house in the family. So Wanda and her husband bought the house. They lived there for several years until he was sick. He was bedridden. When he died, Wanda was living alone in the house. She would stay there. The house now is 101 years old. So, you know what happened. Needs a little renovating. Needs a little pickup, clean up. And so Wanda went into action and she had the house redone. The outside of the house looked the same, but the inside was changed. The kitchen, the whole kitchen was changed. Everything in the kitchen was changed. It was a big kitchen. Actually, it was a 6-room house, but the house had never had any closets. We had shift robes. And sometimes you just hung things on the back of the bedroom doors. So, she didn't need 6 rooms. In fact, it was 3 bedrooms, living room, dining room, kitchen. So she cut up the 3rd bedroom because the closet space was needed, and she turned it into a large walk-in closet. And on the back of that was a small glassed-in back porch. That's where she had her washer and dryer in. And a deck was built on the back of the house. So everything was all new, wiring, plumbing, new roof, everything. So she has been living there. I don't know I can't remember the exact years. But we all still think of the house as the home place. So when we want to go back home, we go back to Wanda's house. That's where she lives now. We don't know what will happen when she's gone. We're all elderly now. I still can't believe my sister, at the age of 96, is driving a car. But since I don't live in the town and I don't have to watch for her coming, I won't worry about it. And as long as her 2 sons let her drive the car, that's their problem. So, this story is not going exactly the way I had meant it to go because I forgot half of what I was going to tell you. I wanted to talk about my sisters. It's hard to believe that a girl will marry at the age of 16. She later gets her GED when her son is in high school. And then she gets her diploma from college. Quite an accomplishment as far as I'm concerned. Wanda was going to be our prima donna. But you know what happens when a boyfriend gets in the way? Oh no, you can't talk these girls into anything when they get a boyfriend. She graduated from high school. See, she was going to be our prima donna because she had a beautiful voice. All of the sisters were going to help her go to college, pay her tuition. We wanted that to happen. And let me tell you this, I'm going to brag a little bit. I had 6 of the prettiest sisters you can imagine. Anybody who knew them in those days, I'm talking about the 40s, 50s, and 60s, when we were high school age, first married, those adult years, and I was still in high school. And I thought I had the prettiest sisters in town. Everybody knew us. You can't help but know when you see 7 girls walking down the street and they all look a little bit alike. You're going to turn and notice. And I never thought I was as pretty. I always thought my 6 sisters were much prettier than I was. Until one day, my mother looked at me and she said, "You're the prettiest one of the 7 girls." No, none of the others heard her say it. But I was shocked. Because you know, if anybody's going to tell it the way it is, your mama will. And I never forgot her telling me that. It's still dark and gloomy out there. I went yesterday morning and got my B12 injection. You're still wondering about my knee problem. I don't agree that it's arthritis. I read something on YouTube about bone on bone, knee of the knee, bone on bone. I think that's the problem I have been having the last few weeks, and I believe it's going to cure itself. I can't help but believe that because the pain has decreased, and I'm counting on it to continue until it goes away. So you don't have to worry about me. I'm taking my Tylenol. It's arthritic Tylenol. I don't know if that's any different than headache Tylenol or not, but I'm just going to assume it is. Oh, I have to tell you this. I was in the kitchen last night fixing me a bite to eat. I was making coleslaw, grating my cabbage. And I happened to have 2 rings on this finger. One of them, I'm sure you've noticed it before, was my cameo ring. Love my cameo ring. And it was right here on this finger. And I don't know what I did, how I did it, but all of a sudden that cameo ring slid off my finger. It was just like it was green lightning. Just slid off that finger, and I heard it clankety clank toward the sink, the double sink, the side that had the disposal. I looked. The ring not there. Now there was a little cover over the disposal. You know how you've got it for safety reasons. And it had an opening on one edge just big enough that a ring would slide through there. And I said, oh my gosh, my cameo ring has gone down into the disposal. So I reached down in, I'm feeling and feeling and feeling and feeling. I don't find anything down in there, nothing. Those little blades that you can turn them, and I was moving them back and forth thinking, got hid by one of the blades. No ring whatsoever. What was I going to do? Okay, I called Jan. I tell her what's happened. She said, don't turn the water on. Put a towel over the sink so that you won't forget and reach for the handle. That way you won't make the mistake of causing the disposal to the water to pull the ring on down through. So I did just that. I was just sick. My pretty cameo ring. So I said, no, I won't touch the sink. I'll do whatever I have to do in the bathroom sink. And she was going to come this morning. She had a doctor's appointment. She said, I'll be there after I have my doctor's appointment. And Charlie told her what to do, that if it's in the sink, that she could get to it with a screwdriver. Oh, I was just dreading that because I thought, if we get the disposal unhooked, will we get it hooked back? And will my cameo ring be down in that little canister? I came from the bathroom into the kitchen. Oh, I had some garbage. I had a Kroger, one of those Kroger bags, and I was putting my Dr. Pepper bottle, my paper towels and things down in that bag. And I had it hooked to the knob on my cabinet, little round white knob. I just hung it there so I could put my garbage in it. And I saw something next to, I've got a long rag rug that I keep on the kitchen floor. And there's about 6-inch space between the rug and the cabinet. And I saw something on the floor. I said, oh, I've dropped a piece of paper. And I reached down to pick it up. It was my cameo ring. I could not believe my cameo ring was lying on the floor. How it got there, I don't know. But I am so relieved to find that ring because it's an old ring and you don't see too many of them anymore. I should have kept it on, but Jan told me to take it off, not to wear 2 rings on one finger. So I took it off and I put it in my little ring box in the bedroom. So I won't make that mistake again. So I thought you'd like to know. Things can turn out good that appear to be bad. And in my case today, I'm perfectly satisfied. I can go in the kitchen now, and that little bowl of cabbage that I was grating, and I couldn't fix it after I lost my ring. I just covered the dish, stuck it in the refrigerator, and now I'm ready to go to the kitchen and fix myself my lunch and dinner all in one meal. And not only that, while I was in the kitchen doing all this messing around, I made meatballs. big pot of meatballs, and they look so good. I'm going to heat up a few of them, probably eat them with crackers, and have my Dr. Pepper, and that's going to be my lunch because I can't wait till later for my dinner. I want it now. I know you've enjoyed this little story. It's one of those, well, what are we going to talk about now? I'm sure there are many, many other YouTubers have the same problem. If I was trying to sell you something, it'd be different. I'd be giving you the instruction. In fact, I went to one of the YouTube channels because I wanted to learn about walking canes. I know I have to have one. There's no getting around it. I have to have a walking cane. But which one do I use? And are there instructions on how you use it? How tall you are, how short you are, which hand that you hold the cane with? All those little things I've never had to deal with before. So I found a website. This young man was explaining all the details about why, when, and where to use a walking cane. Depends on how tall you are, too. You wouldn't think you had to consider your height when you're picking out a walking cane, but you do. You have to get one that made for your height. I'm 5'2", so I would be taking one that, and those that have the little button that you can click on how high you want the walking cane to be. That's the one I'm going to get, like that. And I want one that folds up so that when I go out to dinner with somebody, I don't have to worry about what I'm going to do with my walking cane. I can fold it up and lay it in my lap. Yeah, I'm planning ahead. So we'll see how that situation works out. And I'm going to go in and I'm fixing the rest of my coleslaw. I'm going to have to eat some of the meatballs. And I already know they're good because I tested them last night. I kind of like my background today. See this one right here? Now you have to admit, she's pretty. That was sister number 2. I've got a picture of her when she was 15 years old, and she was gorgeous. That's the only one I've got hanging on the wall. And of course, the picture above that is my baby picture. I won't say I was the prettiest kid on the block when I was a baby, but I won the beauty contest. That's all that matters. Got a free picture. We didn't have money back then for Mama to be spending our money on frivolous things like photographs. So I got my picture free because I was the prettiest baby in town. Yeah, now that's a fact. The other sisters, I judged them by their pretty hair. I judged them by the pretty teeth. My oldest sister had the prettiest cloudy blue eyes you ever saw. Very pretty eyes. 2 of them, I said, why couldn't my teeth be pretty like hers? Why did I have to have the crooked teeth? See? And of course, they're not as white as they used to be. But I did have very white teeth. They're not anymore. But you can see how my teeth have moved this way. And this should be, this tooth should be over here. See where my lips curve? That should be over here. And it's right in the middle. So, I'm telling you that so that you don't have to look close to see it. Y'all. I don't know anything else to talk about. Got a whole bunch of what they call coffee table books. I gave 2 big bags of those books to Jan the other day, and I said, can you sell these books? I've had them 50 years. Yes. Well, I'm looking down, I'm thinking, I've got to gather up some more books. Why do we collect so many books? We read them once, put them in the bookshelf, we never look at them again. So mine look like brand new hardback books. And I've got a stack of Victoria magazine. Somehow or other, I can't get rid of those magazines. I remember when they first came out, and I thought, oh gosh, this is the prettiest decorations ever was. And I kept those magazines for one reason. And I don't know how long they've been out. A couple years, I suppose. And this was a Christmas issue. Oh, the Christmas decoration for this Victorian inn in Michigan. It had several pages. It showed the host. He was in a tuxedo. Everything was just dreamy. And the lady I worked with, she had a sister living in Michigan. She said, let's go to Michigan to my sister's and let's stay in bed and breakfast inns. That sounded good to me. So we flew to Michigan. That way, her sister was there. We had the use of her car. And we could go from one place to another. We had a list of bed and breakfast inns. I'd never been inside one. And I said, we've got to schedule one of our overnight stays. Actually, we booked it for 2 nights in Union City, Michigan, because that's where this bed and breakfast inn was, and had all these beautiful quilts and these old beds, and everything was antique and gorgeous. So it was the one in the magazine that I had. That's where I wanted to go. And so that was where I'm trying to think, that was our second booking. The first booking was in Saline, something like that, in Michigan, way out in the country. And we spent one night there, and we just moved across the state. We even went to Holland, Michigan. That's where we got to go see all of the blue and white, the little figurines, you know, the little boy and girl figurine. I got a set just about that big, still got it. So we had a grand week going from one bed and breakfast to another. You can get used to that, and you can start liking it. And if you can afford it, it's a way to travel. So, I'm not going to go on to any more subjects. I'll stop with that. And I'll let you know what I had for supper on the next video. And I'm sure there was something. Every time I finish a video, as soon as I turn it off, oh, there was one more thing I wanted to tell them. I do it every time. I'll do it this time too, because I can't remember what it was. But as soon as I press that little button, I'll remember. You take care of yourself. And by the way, I think the sun is just about to come out. Sure makes you feel better when you can see sunshine. Don't you agree? Take another good look at my little, well, I've got it pinned to my bra. You can't see it, but it's bright orange. Perfect. And take a look. Well, what side am I on? Could you have asked for a better match? I don't think so. And I've been waiting for something to wear that I could use my bright orange earrings. How do you like my hair now? Do you know I haven't done a thing to it since I got it cut? And I like it. Most of you've told me I look younger, and I'm taking you at your word, because I don't think you would tell me a fib, would you? Woo! Let's get the glasses off. I may wish I hadn't taken them off. Okay, I'm gonna go. You take care. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.